Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of TB&J. I'm sorry, let me do that again. Hello, everyone, and welcome to the TB&J podcast. Blah, blah. I am Count Dracula, and you are my loyal servant and familiar, Renfield.
Nah, I'm Troy, actually.
Oh.
Yeah, you're Jeff.
Are you sure?
I mean, I am sort of the servant of this podcast, I feel like. Put into like a blood pack, and you do make me eat bugs.
I do make you eat bugs.
You do make me eat bugs.
Well, I don't make you eat bugs, but I do make you eat some really gross shit sometimes.
Bugs is not far off the table, I feel
Bugs is something I won't even put in my mouth, so
Okay.
I'm not gonna do a TB&J eats with
All right,
bugs.
that's good to know.
Guys, we
for
watched the Dracula movie with Nick Cage, and I've got some words. We're just gonna do the intro song real quick. TB&J. I'm going to suck your blood, Troy.
I eat a lot of garlic. I don't know what that does to you.
I'm an Italian.
Oh no!
I don't know if that matters.
An Italian vampire is unstoppable. Actually, that's actually how the rules work.
Yes. Boy,
if it's a
fucking
rude
howdy.
Italian vampire, he doesn't have to get invited. He just kicks the door down.
If you're new around here, here's the way we do things. This is obviously a film review. We start things off with either a thumbs up or a thumbs down because we try to say, like, is it good, is it bad, just on a generalized sense of the movie. And then we talk about it. We usually do pros and then cons. And then at the end of it, we give it a more specific kind of a letter grade. You can do out of 5 stars, whatever the fuck you want to do. All right. You know how ratings work. You're not stupid. You managed to download this podcast. You have 2 brain cells. I don't know why I went really New York with that, but I did. But fuck it, we're
you're
doing
an
it.
Italian vampire, and suddenly you just decided to descend into.
Speaking of New York, Tucker Carlson. No, I'm kidding.
Oh no,
he does live in New York.
Is this his new show?
We're not on Twitter. Well, we are, but like we're not. I don't ever do anything with it. Anyway, Troy Renfield, starring Nicholas Hoult,
Like him,
and Nicolas Cage.
He's great.
Aquafina.
Okay, I have no strong feelings for or against Aquafina.
I like her in most things I see her in, but that's beside the point. Thumbs up, thumbs down, buddy.
This movie fucking blows. This is a thumbs down.
I'm gonna give it a thumbs up, but it's very
What?
tentative. Very tentative, all right? Because here's the thing. Pros first, okay?
Sure.
Nicolas Cage, wonderful Dracula.
Sure.
They went for more of a horror comedy with this whole movie.
Yeah.
And they may have leaned into it a little too hard. But they leaned into it, and Nicolas Cage delivers that wonderfully. I don't think I would cast him as a dramatic Dracula ever, but he does a really good...
You wouldn't cast Nicolas Cage as a dramatic most things.
Fair enough. But
this is truly the perfect role for him.
I was actually reading, I want to say this morning, apparently like he actually filed his teeth a little bit to get fitted for the dentures.
He's an insane person. Yeah.
So like his teeth are actually permanently damaged.
Yeah,
when he got fitted for these dentures.
He's a totally insane person.
Is he the one whose kid is named Kal-El?
Yeah.
That's what I thought.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Look up a picture of Kal-El.
I
Cage
have.
real quick. Yeah,
he's like
they
super goth
all
kid.
look very, very unique.
Yeah. I mean, your dad's Nicolas Cage, so I mean, come on.
My dad's Nicolas Cage.
Not your dad, but like their dad.
Okay.
Come on, man.
But my dad was in Con Air.
Nicolas Cage does a great job. Nicholas Hoult does an okay job.
Sure.
I really like him as an actor.
Sure.
I like a lot of things he's in.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I loved him as Renfield.
Okay.
He did okay as kind of like the bumbling British guy. But like, could have been better. What do you think?
I think that he is okay in a movie that script is very on the nose with every line.
Dude, this fucking movie script, my guy. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh dear. This I want to keep it positive first. Can we let's
try positives.
Let's try and keep it positive. Positive.
So you gave it a thumbs up though, which means that
I
you
did.
have positives.
I laughed at it a lot.
Okay.
So this movie for me was kind of like what The Room was for you. Where I went into this...
How dare you?
Although I will say I went into this with expectations.
You mean The Godfather Part 2 is what you're saying.
I will say I went into this with actual expectations.
Sure. A lot of people did. It was a very, very hyped up movie. It was a movie that people, when they first announced that they were going to do a Renfield, like, Dracula movie, like a movie, there was originally like articles where people were like, we're gonna make a movie about Dracula's assistant Renfield, and everybody online went, who the fuck cares? And then when they showed off the first trailer, especially the first Red Band trailer, suddenly people were like, oh, Nicolas Cage is Dracula, and it's like a horror comedy thing, and like as soon as they saw what it was, people very much flipped the script and were on board again.
Yeah, and there's also like man, this movie had a lot of promise, and there's a lot of talent in this movie. Like the director, Chris McKay, right? You know what else he did? He also directed the Lego Batman movie. Okay?
Did he direct it, or did he work on it? Because I was looking up.
He directed the Lego Batman movie. He was executive producer for Lego Movie 2. He was a writer on D&D. Honor Among Thieves.
That's a good movie.
Excuse me. He was director and producer for like 4 or 5 seasons of Robot Chicken, and it was like good years of Robot Chicken too. Like it wasn't the shit years quite yet. Fucking Moral Oral, which if you haven't seen it, is actually really good. There's a lot of like good shit in his resume, and then you get to story by legendary comic book author Robert Kirkman, the guy who invented The Walking Dead.
I do always wonder.
The guy who invented Invincible. I think.
I do always wonder how far story by and then famous comic book guy goes.
Yeah, he did Invincible for 15 years. He did Walking Dead for 16 years. He did Marvel Zombies. Okay. He did a comic called Battle Pope. Excuse me? All right.
This movie feels like it could have also had the title Battle Pope.
Kind of. But, like, he was a writer and producer on this fucking movie. And I was like, Robert Kirkman was attached to this? No way. No fucking way. But first of all, no. Just no. I'm straight up.
I was gonna say, are we in positive still?
We're still in positive because like there's a lot. This movie's bad. All right, don't get it twisted.
Right.
This movie stinks.
Yeah,
but it stinks in a funny way. You kind of laugh at it. Like there's a lot of blood and gore, but a majority of it feels like almost Mortal Kombat.
Sure,
comically.
Sure, they even do literally an X-ray fatality at some point in the movie.
They literally do an X-ray where Renfield kicks the fucking Ben
Sonic
Schwartz
the Hedgehog,
character.
Yeah. You can call him Sonic the Hedgehog.
Also, I looked this up. So Teddy Lobo is Ben Schwartz's character. Do you know what Teddy is short for?
Theodore?
Tedward.
All right, actually, I've come back around. I like this movie a lot now. I'm actually fully on board. I'm gonna get a Renfield tattoo.
Yeah,
That's fucking great, actually.
Tedward Lobo.
Did they say that in the movie at all?
No.
That would have been the best joke of the movie.
But he's billed as Tedward Lobo.
That's so good. I've come full circle around. This is now my positive.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm taking it. It's my positive now.
You can have it. I do like that they elaborated on the character of Renfield. Renfield was in the original novel Dracula way back in 1897, and he did help out Dracula. I believe he has some sort of redemption. I don't remember. I remember reading Dracula when I was an edgy 14-year-old because I really wanted to because I loved Gothic literature. I don't remember what happens with Renfield. I'm
sorry. You want to become a vampire?
Yeah, it was literally like fucking... Oh my god, I was 13 years ago.
Yeah. You're about to be 14 years ago.
Oh god.
Yeah.
Dude, what? We're almost 30.
Well, no, we're not. We're not almost 30.
We're almost 30.
That's not true, first off.
We're 27.
Being 27 is not almost 30.
Yes, it is.
There are 3 years in between.
That's not a lot of time.
I feel like on the back end of 28, you're almost 30.
I would say anything older than like 26, you're almost 30.
That's
If you're in your late 20s, that's also
you
almost
wouldn't look
30.
at you wouldn't look at a 5-year-old and be like, he's almost 10.
No, I said after 26 would be almost 30.
Yeah.
Because you're in your late 20s. So if you were like 7, I would say you're almost 10.
I don't know.
You're-
There's 365 days in a year. That's a lot of days,
Yeah, 3 years from now, man.
including leap years.
Oh my god. Do you think by the time we're 30, Invincible season 2 will be out yet?
It'll be close. I think we will. It'll come out first, but not by much.
We might get another teaser with
Listen,
Seth.
I hope they take as long as they want, and it is as good as it can be.
Oh, absolutely.
But
And Robert Kirkman's involved in that too. We brought
Yeah.
it back around, back to Renfield,
he
you guys.
didn't put a whole lot of effort into this, so he could put more effort into Invincible, hopefully.
I'm glad that Renfield got elaborated on because it seems like in a lot more reboot adaptations or modern tellings of Dracula, the character of Renfield is kind of disregarded.
Well, this is like barely a retelling. This is a parody.
This is not a
of,
retelling. So
yeah.
to be clear, this film, according to people involved in it, I can't find the exact quote at the moment, but I remember reading it in some of like the pressers before the movie came out. I think Nicolas Cage actually said it. This movie is supposed to be a sequel to 1931's Dracula.
Well, yeah, that's sort of what they're pitching it as, but it's like,
I mean,
this is very much a parody of what like a sequel could be.
Is it though?
I mean, I would say so. It's a buddy cop like comedy, like
There's not a
with
whole lot of
Nick-
copping
with
going on.
Nick Cage in it.
Yeah.
Like it really seems like they did not take this super seriously.
Oh no, it's a horror comedy.
Yeah.
Like there's no way. Oh god, I'm looking at numbers here on Wikipedia. Budget $65 million. You want to take a guess at the box office?
Well, let's think about this. So
You can think about it all you want. Is this good content? I don't know.
John Wick is still in theaters.
John Wick is still in theaters. Guardians
just came out in theaters. It's
Renfield
wedged
also
right
had a
through.
release date of April 14th, so it's been running for a minute.
April 14th. Wow, it's actually been that long than I thought it has.
Yeah,
I thought
so it came out April 14th in the U.S. It actually came out, as of this recording today, I believe, for home video rentals and
Right.
purchases.
And that's
which
how
is
we watched
How
it.
we watched it, yes.
What would you say? What did you say the budget was again?
$65 million.
$65 million. I'm gonna say.
None of that went into the blood CGI, by the way.
I'm gonna say $45 million.
Oh, no.
No.
24.
24?
24.
That's like half of what I said.
Yeah. That's not even half of its budget.
That's insane.
24
It's so
million.
weird because I feel like people were talking about this movie.
A lot of people were. This movie got a lot of press.
It got a lot of press right before it came out, which is one thing, I guess. But I feel like people were going to the movies because a lot of stuff is out now.
Yeah, and I feel like this movie is the kind what you do pretty much the way we did it, in that you just buy it or rent it at home.
Sure.
You watch it and you laugh with some popcorn. It's not really the kind of movie I would like to spend $13.50 plus tax plus popcorn and soda prices at the movie theater for. If I'm going to spend that much at the movie theater, I don't know if I'm going to do that to see Renfield. I mean, I wish I could say I would. I want more movies like this, movies that take creative leaps.
Sure.
As long as it's not laughably bad. Like, it's supposed to be a comedy and you're supposed to laugh with it, but I spent most of my time laughing at it.
I'll be real with you. There are no jokes that in a serious sense, in the way that it wanted me to laugh, there's not a whole lot that got more than like a genuine just like puff of nose air.
I was sitting next to you, like, I laughed at it a couple times.
Well, you laugh
but,
at
like,
everything also.
I tend to, yeah.
You're a very giggly person. I can tell you the worst joke.
I'm a very emotional person.
Sure.
Because, like, when Renfield's having that, like, dramatic heart-to-heart with Awkwafina and he's getting worked up, I started getting worked up, and I felt myself get worked up, and I was like, why are you doing that?
Yeah,
You're not invested in these characters.
all the lines are bad and these characters are not good.
God, the writing is good up until it needs to be a serious moment, and then it just gets really, really clunky and really bad. And that's why when I saw, like, screenplay by Ryan Ridley during the credits, which, by the way, he does not have a hyperlink to click on Wikipedia for the Renfield page. I can't click on Ryan Ridley. No idea who he is. without doing a separate Google search.
Do we know if he's a vampire?
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Oh, no.
Uh-oh.
Ryan Ridley is a former writer and voice actor on Rick and Morty.
Okay.
Co-producer in Season 1, producer in Season 2, executive producer Season 3. Okay. He's also a writer on Community. This guy knows how to write.
Yeah, those are funny shows.
Yeah. Also, The Wastelander, 2005, and Our Footloose remake, 2011. I have no idea what either of those things are. Neither of them sounds good.
Footloose, like Kevin Bacon Footloose?
I guess.
All right.
It's really tough to get, like, actual, like, credits and information on this guy.
But does he seem like a vampire to you? Just vibes.
What?
Just off vibes. Does he seem like a vampire to you?
I mean, in this picture, he's wearing a tuxedo, and his hair is kind of short and slicked back, which is how all the vampires look in this movie.
Sure,
So that's how you tell them apart, obviously.
Sounds vampire racist, but I'll allow it.
That's not a thing. I'm going to tell you that right now. Vampire racist is not a thing.
Dude, it's a tough time for vampires. Redfall and then Renfield back to back.
Dude, right?
It's really
I fucking love vampires.
They're great.
All I've ever wanted was good fucking vampires in my life. And then, like, Twilight comes out, and I don't know what it is yet, but I see it's getting a lot of national recognition. So I'm like, oh, cool, vampires. Maybe this is good. No, this sucks. This is really bad. Why is this a thing?
They play baseball sometimes.
Oh, man, they do, don't they? But I do love Robert Pattinson as Batman. Anyway, not the point. And then, like, fucking... I don't see any vampire shit for, like, years. Like, I was a kid. I watched Buffy. Buffy was awesome. Fucking loved me Buffy, loved me some Spike, loved me some Angel. All that shit was so fucking good. And it got me into, like, Anne Rice. It got me into Bram Stoker's Dracula as a kid. I really enjoyed vampires. And then I grow up. All these vampire things that are coming out nowadays fucking suck, man. You said yourself Redfall, Renfield. I think it might be the letter R.
Yeah, RF is really a thing to avoid.
Apparently. But, like, man, why do vampires suck? And
well,
not in a good way. Not in a good way, you dumb shit. Don't.
They'll die otherwise.
You get crickets.
Or sometimes they won't die. I don't know the rules of vampires, and if they don't drink any blood at all, what's the?
That was a really long sound bite.
Well, if you eat those crickets, you get Renfield powers.
They won't starve, but they need the blood to, like, regain power.
I mean, it's different rules for different...
It's also different rules for different things. Also, Skyrim, fucking playing as the vampires, the Vampire Lords, was so fucking cool.
Well, they're really bad until that DLC.
Well, yeah, I didn't...
Have you ever tried base game vampires?
No.
It's the most miserable gameplay experience you'll ever have.
You just, like, lose health in the sun, I think?
You really get almost no benefits.
Yeah, and then they're like, Vampire Lords!
They made Dawnguard to be like, what if vampires were fun to be? What if we made vampires fun?
Yeah, what if we just made vampires, like, super fun? Did I ever tell you my game glitched when I got Dawnguard? So, like...
No, Skyrim? Really?
Skyrim had glitches.
Holy shit.
There's an achievement. There's 2 achievements in Dawnguard.
Wait, you don't think the Starfield will have anything, do you?
I have a bit about Starfield if you want me to talk about it later. There's 2 achievements in Dawnguard. One is because they added perk trees for the Vampire Lord and the werewolves
yep.
to get all the perks as those different beings. And when I was the Vampire Lord, and this happened with the werewolf as well, I glitched out on the main map. I couldn't, like, untransform, and I couldn't go into buildings. So I was just running around the open world of Skyrim without entering anywhere, just killing bitches to get all of my perk points until the achievement popped, and then I would reload my save until I could go back into buildings. And then I did it. I switched over to werewolves because you can just switch back and forth whenever you want, basically. And the same glitch happened. I was stuck outside, except as the werewolf, I had my enchanted glass sword in my mouth. So all of my attacks, like, did extra damage.
Oh, you were Zacian from Pokemon Sword.
Apparently. And it just glitched like that. And I just ran around the whole open world, just, like, killing bitches and getting perks. And I was like, wow, these are easy achievements.
So we should talk about Renfield.
Renfield. Troy, did you like anything about this movie?
So I liked about 30% of the action. There is a lot of it that looks really, really bad.
Yeah.
But, like, really, I mean, that's like the best I can go for. It's like sometimes the gore was fun, but it's only sometimes.
Yeah, a lot of times it looked real bad.
When they were fighting in the day, so bad.
Yeah, I think the bad lighting in the bar definitely helped.
Definitely helped.
Because they didn't have to do as much, but as soon as you add light into that, it just looks rough. And you can tell that the CGI on that was not there. They didn't do a whole lot of that. And, like, it probably would have been better if they had done some more practical effects with, like, the blood spurts and stuff, but...
Yeah, I think that this movie... okay, my big positive is I like the idea. I think that they regress a little bit and kind of make it like a buddy cop, like, it kind of loops back around to being generic again, but, like, there is an idea in here that could be a good movie that is not so generic.
Sure.
And I think that's the thing that you said that you want Hollywood to take more swings, and I do too, and this seemed like a swing, and then they were like, maybe this is too big of a swing, and they pulled back a little bit. But it is still like a swing nonetheless.
Yeah, it's a swing and a miss.
It is a swing and a miss. It didn't make a third of its budget back, but it is a swing.
Yeah. It's
like the Mario movie is like what we did right before this. The Mario movie is a bunt. This is a swing.
I mean, apparently the world begs to differ.
No, it's a bunt, and he rounded all the bases.
The defense just didn't show up.
Yeah, they just fucking fumbled over themselves, and they're like, I guess it's a home run.
It's like that Family Guy skit, the armless baseball player who just watches the pitch go right by him as the guy rounds the bases, and then he's just all upset, just like kicking the dirt.
It's sort of that's. I mean, the Mario movie made contact, but this is like it. Like I said, it really, really swung. But, like, it
Have you seen all the defenders online getting all upset?
Renfield?
No, Mario.
No.
They're like, oh, you expected an intertwining and a complex plot from a kid's movie?
No, I didn't.
They use the meme of Peach at the end and looking up at Bowser, where it's like, you really thought this would work? And he's like, kinda. And they use that as a meme template, where Peach is like, oh, you expected a plot? And Bowser's like, kinda. And it's like, I've seen it like everywhere on the internet.
Listen, no, I didn't. But, like, it would have been nice. Like, that's all I'm saying. I understand the Mario movie is a movie made for 8-year-olds. And, like, that's like the whole thing. We talked about it like that.
Do you want to get more upset?
I did. Go for it.
Podcast I listened to, Ice Cream Social.
Sure.
Matt Donnelly on that podcast went and saw it with his sons.
Yeah.
It was a packed theater out in Las Vegas. At the end of the movie, everyone broke into applause.
That doesn't upset me. I don't give a shit.
Doesn't upset you?
I don't give a shit.
Okay.
So if people like the Mario movie, that's fine. It's not that bad. It's just not. It's also just not that good. It's fine. It is made to be what it is. But back to this movie.
Yes, Renfield.
Renfield does try to be something that's not like the most generic movie ever, but still somehow
ends up being a very generic movie.
Yeah, it has all the like. And they also do the thing where they tell you exactly how every character is feeling in, like, narration. Like, anytime anything happens, they immediately go back to, like, a narration of Nicholas Hoult being like, and this is how I feel at the moment right now. I thought that I was a monster, but it turns out I'm not a monster, and the monster that is my monster killed all of my friends or whatever. And like, and you're just like, yeah, I saw it happen. I literally just watched it happen. I get it. Like, I don't need.
I saw it in your eyes, bro.
And then
you acted
when they show they tell you that the police like synced is all like corrupt by basically being like, Aquafina storms in and is just like, every cop in here is corrupt. And then later, they all team up with, like, the mob, and she's just like, oh my god, you're all in the hands of the mob. It's like, yeah, you said that earlier. But, like, you didn't say it in these words, so it's like, did you just think that we weren't going to get it? I just don't understand.
Yeah, it was really fucking weird, man.
They tell you exactly what's going on at all times. They do not respect the intelligence of anybody watching Renfield.
Absolutely not. No. They don't give a shit. And like, man, I just wanted so much more out of this movie,
Sure.
and I didn't get it.
But I will go positives. Like I said, there is genuinely no better role for Nicolas Cage.
Yeah,
This is the one where
he nails it.
They're like
I'll give him a Razzie for this.
he even sounds kind of bad. Like he can't talk with those teeth in, and still somehow I'm like, well, he's Nick Caging it up. Like he can't even fucking talk, and
Nah.
he's still like, I'm just gonna Nick Cage it up, and he nails it.
At one point, I was like, should I put on subtitles? And I thought about it, and I was like, no.
This is the experience.
Yeah.
But like he has a specific way of hamming up every role that he's in so much, where it's like have you ever seen that episode of Community where it's Abed is giving the whole report on Nicolas Cage on whether or not he's a good or bad actor? I think it's firmly like I think he's in the good actor camp.
Yeah.
It's just like
He's a good actor the way Johnny Depp's a good actor. He's good in certain roles. I wouldn't cast him in other roles.
I think that he needs a director to basically make the rest of the movie around him. He is a specific type of like unhinged, like I'm going to play up this role as heavily as possible. He talked about a famous quote from him that everybody knows at this point, but I'm going to repeat it anyway, is where he talks about how he studied like silent films, and that's how he models his acting off of, because he like really, really tries to like emote with his whole body, because you can't hear silent films. But it's like one of the reasons he comes off so like over the top huge. But like this is a great role for him. It's just not. It's just the rest of the movie's not very funny.
No, it's not. And here's some bad news for you. Did you know this is movie number 2 in a monster cinematic universe?
It doesn't fucking count as Dark Universe, does it?
Yeah, according to this, The Mummy was supposed to. Dracula Untold was supposed to be the start, and then it failed. So
Yeah,
they were
that
like,
doesn't
no.
count. Yeah.
The Mummy was supposed to be the start, and that failed. So they were like, nope.
No.
Invisible Man took off, and they were like,
Invisible-
great, first movie, done.
How could you look at Invisible Man and look at this and be like, they're in the same thing?
I don't know. Ask Universal Pictures. They're the ones making these decisions.
That sounds like a good idea. I mean, this because it's such a comedy, they could very easily just be like, no, it's not. What are you talking about? Like they could turn around on this and just say it never was.
Yeah, I mean they could. I mean
that's what they're gonna do, because Invisible Man fucking rocks.
I really hope they do. I just, man, I'm reading into this more and more and more, and doing things I should have done before we started. But like, apparently Kirkman came to Universal and was like, "Hey, here's a pitch for a Dracula comedy movie based on what we do in the shadows."
It's not a bad pitch.
It's not a bad pitch.
What we do in the shadows is a good show,
and it's a great inspiration.
Yeah,
it's just a matter of like, why did this not deliver? You know, it's just it needed to be better written, and it needed better dialogue. It needed better...
This movie feels like you like when you have that one friend in like early high school, and they're like they're like the kid that's like, I'm the funniest kid in the room. And then they just start saying stuff.
Why are you talking about me like this?
And it's just like he just starts saying like vulgar stuff and just like the most like dumb lowest common denominator humor.
You're really hurting my feelings here, Troy.
You don't need to doubt yourself. You started a podcast. Everybody knows that's what you are. But like you don't need to like we got it. But like. It's just like, it's one of these things where it's like, it really does feel like that guy who's just like, I am the funniest person in the room and everybody look at me. And you're just like, you look back and you're like, oh, nothing he said was funny.
And then I feel like if you don't like it, the people who did make it are like, actually, it's just because you don't understand it.
I also think that this movie will like be likable for some people. I just am picturing the person that it is. And I'm just like, oh, you're annoying.
Like friend of the pod, John Fitzwater.
Damn.
Yeah.
Damn, John, if you're listening, Jeff said that. And not
John
me.
doesn't listen to my
No,
podcast.
John does not listen to this.
No. No.
Mostly
no.
because we play his music, and he would never listen to that.
No, he would never listen to his own stuff. He hates it. Yeah, but I do you think they're gonna do a sequel?
Not with fucking $25 million or whatever you said the budget was.
24 box office,
box
65
office.
million budget.
Yeah, there's no chance of that. I mean, there's not no chance, but it's a very low chance.
You know what? I do genuinely think this movie, it's getting mixed to positive reviews around the Rotten Tomato Metacritic scene. I do think, even though it did kind of poorly at the box office, it'll have a bit of a comeback on digital and streaming.
It'll be that movie that comes back and people go, did you actually know that this movie's really great and it just didn't succeed in the box office? And it's kind of a cult classic, and I'll just be like,
It's going to be a cult classic the way the fucking Mike Myers Cat in the Hat is a cult classic. And then
No, it's going to be way worse than that. It's going to be a cult classic in the way that like the Speed Racers Wachowski sisters movie is. And everybody's going to be like, actually, it's a hidden masterpiece. And
Is
I'll
that
be
one
like,
with John Goodman?
yeah.
Oh, God.
But people are
That
gonna,
movie sucks.
It's not good.
I've
But
seen it. That movie
there
sucks.
There are people who say it's a hidden masterpiece, and I just keep being like, you're wrong.
Who are these people?
It has a big resurgence. That and like Tron Legacy, but I think Tron Legacy is better than
Tron
Speed
is
Racer.
actually kind of good.
It's okay. It's watchable for
Yeah,
sure.
it's watchable. Speed Racer's not watchable.
But like, there's people who like swear by that movie, and I think that's what Renfield's gonna be.
Yeah?
I think that there's gonna be an annoying group of people
It's
on
going to be
Reddit.
a deep cut one day. Oh, man. I can't wait for those fucking people.
As far as like cult classics go, you have like Rocky Horror Picture Show, which is like bad. Everybody knows it's bad, but
It's lovably
There's
bad.
a specific group of people, me, who are like, it's my fucking, you know, my heart song. Then there's people who are then there's cult classics that are like Scott Pilgrim, where people are like, yeah, this movie, like, it did not do great, but it did fine. And then people are like, actually, this movie's insanely good, and you watch it and you're like, oh yeah, it is. And
fucking Edgar Wright, my man.
And then there is going to be Renfield, where Renfield is this movie where some people are going to be like, actually, it's great. And you look at it and you go, no. And not really.
You know what's going to happen? In like 5 or 6 years, we're going to go to like a Halloween party at a friend's house, and they're going to have this going on a TV as background noise. That's the future of this film.
I could see this year a bunch of Nicolas Cage Draculas being a costume for like people our age and a little bit younger, and then never seeing it again.
Yeah, like at some Comic Cons or something.
Mm-hmm.
People
like
just
a bunch
dress
of,
up
like
and
a bunch
put
of
on
people,
some gaudy rings and fake teeth.
mm-hmm. Like a bunch of people are like, oh yeah, Renfield, and then they're all gonna forget about it.
Yeah, I can absolutely see that happening. Man, why do we always have this weird habit of watching just garbage movies?
I mean, we decided to be a movie podcast.
I mean, yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I will say this: it is only, and I didn't watch Winnie the Pooh, and I didn't watch Cocaine Bear.
Winnie the Pooh, Blood and Honey, to be
Blood
specific.
and Honey. Yep. I will say that this
Because
is
Winnie the Pooh, the actual Winnie the Pooh movie,
sure,
classic.
Sure.
A.
So
10 out of 10.
Out of those two off the table, this is only the second worst movie I've seen. I've seen Plane. I think Plane is still worse. Mostly because Plane is boring and this is at least not boring. But it's not good competition.
I mean, the world apparently begs to differ.
The world
with you.
disagrees, and I don't fucking understand.
Plane had a budget of $25 million. Box office is $53.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah. If I'll tell you, it's one of the most fucking boring movies I've ever watched, and it's like there's no production value in this fucking movie. So, but not going into Plane. Should we go into letter grades for Renfield?
Yes, letter grades. All right. You went first. You want to go first again?
Yeah. My question is.
You have a question?
It's a question to myself. Is F too harsh?
Wow. Yeah. F is something you got absolutely no enjoyment out of, and everything was bad about it. F is bottom of the barrel.
It's not much higher.
F is reserved for like Birdemic. No, and not even that. Birdemic is laughably bad. There are movies that are just bad that you're angry at for having seen. Like, first one I can think of off the top of my head, Rogue One. That gets an F.
Quiet you.
Fucking hate Rogue One. I'll
Rogue
die
One
on this
would
hill.
At least get a B+ for me. I like Rogue One.
Fine, but what do you give Renfield? I'll go first. Will that help?
Go for it.
I'm gonna give it a C.
You're gonna give it a C.
I'm gonna give it a solid.
I'm definitely going lower
C.
than C. I'm gonna say
It's not good,
no.
but you might enjoy some parts of it, and you might laugh a little bit. Renfield's like kind of comically adorable in his little codependent relationship, and
sure, Nicholas Holt's good. Nicholas
and that
Cage
aspect
is good.
of the seeing their relationship from this modern lens of him trying to get out of this codependent relationship with a narcissist and by going to support groups and reading books, I enjoyed that. It was very enjoyable in a funny way because he does it badly.
I'm gonna get actually, and I won't piss off a lot of people because a lot of people liked Megan more than all of us. But I was gonna say I gave Megan like a C. I'm gonna give Renfield less than that. I'm gonna give this a D. I think I'm just leaving it as a D. I don't think I'm gonna go plus.
All right,
I'm not gonna go minus, but I'm not gonna go plus.
That's fair. There's only the two of us, so I guess D plus, C minus.
Sure,
Right on the
average.
border there between a D and a C.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's just because it didn't
I
make me
think
laugh once.
you won't really have much to add here, but I feel like if you watch this movie while under the influence of
Sure.
something, you'll probably enjoy it more. Kind of like Harold and Kumar or fucking Tropic Thunder or a bunch of other shitty movies like that.
Right.
Where it's like if you just get a little high or a bit
Well,
drunk.
Harold and Kumar's at least watchable. Well, Tropic Thunder's also watchable without being.
yeah,
really
but it gets
influenced.
better.
Sure.
If you
That's
just,
what it's made for. pretty
yeah,
much.
it just
Harold and Kumar especially.
have a gummy, have a couple drinks, whatever you got to do, and then watch this, and I think you'll enjoy it a lot more.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's made for that. And as much as I hate films that are made for that, because I feel like you're just catering to the lowest of low common denominators. Like, the movie's great. You just got to get high
you
first.
heard it here first. Jeff anti the legalization of marijuana. Jeff loves Dare.
Yep, you know me.
Loves Dare, loves cops. That's why you like this movie, is because there was a cop.
I have a T-shirt in my closet of a cop getting murdered by a unicorn.
But why do you love cops so much then? Why would you own that shirt if you love cops?
They keep us safe.
Yeah.
They're just and when there's a school shooter terrorizing a city,
They get right on in there and help.
yeah, after a
every
couple
time.
hours, they get right on in there
After a few hours and
of breaking down a door that was
tackling-
never locked.
and tackling a bunch of parents that just want their,
A cab. Anyway, that's the end of Renfield. Stop listening. Troy, have you heard about Starfield?
I've heard of the game Starfield, yeah.
No, so ESRB just released their rating and why. So they gave it an M, and apparently
Sure.
there's like violence, there's a couple bad words.
Sure. Skyrim's M.
They also mentioned post-sex dialogue between characters, including the line, life is a sexually transmitted disease with a 100% fatality rate. That is a direct quote from the game, and the ESRB put that in their description of why they gave it an M rating. And I thought that was ridiculously hilarious.
Is that line like...
I guess it's supposed to be like a something that your partner says after you wake up.
Sure.
Because it's Bethesda. We're not getting a voiced protag, I bet.
Yeah.
It's probably going to be a silent protagonist. You're just going to have your partner wake up and say something at you as you get the well-rested perk.
That part I get. I'm just... that's what I'm going to use to describe people why I'm asexual from now on.
And then another one said, I'm all for weird things, but next time can we leave the jetpacks off?
First off, I don't want to romance whatever character says that. That sounds like a boring character.
Very boring character. Jetpacks are not weird.
Are you worried about Starfield because Starfield Renfield?
No. I'm worried about Starfield because Bethesda.
Because that's fair.
I'm worried about Starfield because their publishing house just released Redfall.
It's also true.
Those same people didn't make this game, and I'm not laughing at the people who made Redfall. I'm sure they did
But
genuinely work very
Todd
hard.
was involved.
God Howard, man, he can't be wrong. We're just enjoying the game wrong.
That's true.
We're playing it wrong. It's our fault.
Man, Todd Howard is really one of the hardest.
You want to talk about
of a
heels?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He really. I mean, and the funny thing is, he hasn't really done anything that different. He just slowly, people just got sick of his shit.
Yeah.
People were just like, oh, God.
Like the guy who made No Man's Sky, and he made all those crazy promises, and then none of them happened.
Yeah, but it turns No Man's Sky, people play it now and they like it.
After all the updates that added in some of the things he promised that didn't launch with.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, there was a lot going on with that game. That game also was like kind of like a cool, like high budget indie game almost. And then basically somebody showed up and was just like, "We are making this the biggest AAA title on Earth." And the guy making the game's like, "Hold on, wait. And then they show him a paycheck. He's like, "All right, I guess it's the biggest AAA budget game of all time."
Yeah. Anyway, that's it for Renfield, and Starfield, and whatever else the fuck we were talking about. This is what happens when nobody else does the show with us. We get off track very easily.
It's a hard movie to talk about. It's gory. It's Nicolas Cage's Dracula. The mob's involved. It's like there's not a whole lot of substance.
Plane is a 2023 American action thriller directed by Jean-Francois Richet, from a screenplay by Charles Cumming and J.P. Davis. The plot centers on a pilot, Gerard Butler, allying with a prisoner, Mike Coulter, to save his passengers from a hostile territory they landed in for an emergency landing. That sounds so fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's
and
dumb and
so
generic.
lame.
Yeah.
How did this movie make $53 million at the box office?
I watched it in theaters and I can't tell you, man.
Those are longer than Renfield by like 15 minutes.
Yeah. You feel it. Fuck Plane.
Don't fuck a plane.